Hey everyone, and welcome to our first session. If you're just starting out in marketing, you are in the right place, because today you're going to learn a secret that separates the people who just do marketing from the people who actually lead it. It's like a superpower for spotting what's coming next. So let's jump right in.
First up, let me ask you this. How on earth did a humble vegan sausage roll become this massive, viral sensation that sent Greg's profits through the roof? I promise you the answer isn't just about good pastry. It's about a fundamental secret to amazing marketing. And by the time we're done here, you're going to know exactly what it is.
You see, here's the thing. Marketing never, ever happens in a vacuum. Every single ad campaign, every product you launch, it's all being pushed and pulled around by these huge, invisible forces out there in the world. And understanding those forces, that's the whole game.
Think of it like this, right? You're playing a game, you know the objective, but the rule book is being secretly rewritten, like every 5 minutes, by stuff that is completely out of your control. Your job as a marketer isn't just to play the game well, it's to get so good at reading the room that you can see those rule changes coming before anyone else.
Now, these forces, they kind of come in two flavors. First, you've got the macro environment. This is the big picture stuff. Think of it as the national weather forecast. It affects everybody. You can't change it, but you'd be crazy not to check it before you leave the house. Then you've got the micro environment. This is more like the traffic right outside your office. It's local, it's immediate, and you can react to it. Today, we're all about learning how to check that big picture weather forecast.
So, how in the world do you make sense of all this chaos, all this change? Well, the great marketers, they don't just guess. No way. They have a secret weapon, a framework they use to scan the horizon, and it's called PESTLE.
And here it is, PESTLE. This is your new superpower. Seriously, it's basically a cheat sheet that lets you break down all those big, scary forces into 6 simple categories: political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. It's how you turn all that noise into a clear signal.
Okay, so to show you just how powerful this tool is, we're going to go on a quick PESTLE tour of Britain. We're going to use real-world examples you see every single day. So buckle up.
First stop on the tour? P. And P stands for political. This is all about how what the government does can completely change your world.
A single decision in Parliament can literally rewrite your marketing copy overnight. Just look at the UK's big crackdown on greenwashing. When brands make vague claims about being eco-friendly. Suddenly, huge retailers like ASOS and Boohoo couldn't just say a shirt was sustainable. Nope, they had to prove it. The lesson here? A political decision created a brand new rule for every marketer in fashion. Be specific or be silent.
All right, next up we've got E for economic. This is all about the money, honey. The health of the economy, and crucially, how much cash is in your customers' pockets.
So, when the cost of living crisis really started to bite, people had way less money to play with. What did a smart company like Greg's do? They didn't start selling fancy new pastries. Of course not. They went all in on their core message, value for money. They totally understood the economic vibe. Their marketing met people exactly where they were, counting every single penny. So the lesson is simple. The economy tells you whether to sell a bargain or a blowout.
Let's keep moving. S is for social. And this brings us right back to our sausage roll mystery. You want to know the real secret to that vegan sausage roll? It wasn't just the recipe, it was the timing. There was this huge social trend building, this cultural wave of people choosing plant-based foods for all sorts of reasons: health, ethics, the environment. Greg saw that wave coming, and they built the perfect surfboard to ride it. It wasn't just a snack, it was a cultural moment.
And the result? Get this, a 58% jump in pre-tax profits in just the 6 months after it launched. 58%. It's the perfect example of what happens when you tap into a social trend. They brought in a whole new generation of customers and made their brand feel incredibly relevant.
All right, on to the T in our tour, technological. This is all about how new gadgets, apps, and platforms can literally create new ways to build a business from scratch. Technology can be a total game changer. I mean, think about Monzo Bank. They don't have big fancy branches on the high street. Their entire bank lives right here on your phone. They use the tech of slick, easy-to-use apps to take on the old slow banking giants. And their absolute masterstroke? That bright, hot Coral bank card. It was so different, so eye-catching, that people started posting pictures of it online. Technology helped turn their product into its own viral ad campaign. Genius. Now we're at L, which stands for legal. This is where that rulebook we talked about gets written down in black and white, and you have absolutely no choice but to follow it. Remember back in 2022 when you walked into a fast food place and suddenly all the menus had calorie counts on them? Well, that's because a new law came in. It wasn't a choice for companies like McDonald's. It was a legal demand. And just like that, snap. Every single menu board, every app in the entire country had to be redesigned. It just goes to show the law isn't a suggestion, it directly changes what your marketing looks like.
And that brings us to our final letter on the tour, the second E. This one stands for environmental. I'm sure we all remember the huge public backlash against plastic straws, right? It was everywhere. Over 500,000 people in the UK signed a petition demanding McDonald's get rid of them. That environmental pressure from the public became so loud, the company had no choice but to listen. They switched to paper straws, and their marketing was beautifully simple. You asked, we listened. It's proof that sometimes the strongest environmental force is just the voice of your customers.
So, we've done the tour. We've seen how politics, economics, social trends, all this stuff is constantly reshaping marketing. So, now what? How do you actually use this? How does this knowledge take you from being an apprentice to being a strategist?
Well, it's a really simple 3-step playbook. First, you use PESTLE to scan the world and see what's changing. Step 2, you label what you find. Is this an opportunity, like veganism was for Greggs, or is it a threat, like that greenwashing crackdown? And then, step 3, you feed those insights directly into your marketing plan. If you've ever heard of a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, well, PESTLE is what gives you the O and the T. It's the starting point for all great strategy.
And listen, this is the most important thing I want you to walk away with today. Understanding the marketing environment, this isn't just boring textbook theory. It's the difference between blindly doing tasks because you were told to and truly understanding why a smart decision is being made. This is how you start thinking like a marketing leader.
So I'm going to leave you with a question, a little piece of homework. Look around you. Think about everything we've talked about today. What is one political, economic, social, technological, legal, or environmental trend happening right now that could be the next vegan sausage roll or the next plastic straw for your industry? Start looking for it because that is where the real marketing magic happens.